This is Dr. R.P. Maurya, working as Associate Professor, Horticulture. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture on gerryscaping. Actually, what is gerryscaping? Gerryscape, what is gerryscape? Gerryscape is a word derived from the Greek word geros. Geros means dry, and scape word came from the word landscape. Okay, so escape means scene. So we can say in our landscape, we beautify that particular area by using the plant material that is xerophytic in nature. Xerophytic means those plants they require minimal water. I mean those plants their water requirement is very low. So in this group, mostly we select the plants. Their water requirement is very low. So these plants are cacti and succulents. It is used to describe landscaping with water conservation as a major objective. So I mean the gerryscaping or gerryscape. Our our main objective is water conservation. So as you are well aware about that, water scarcity in many parts of the India as well as in the world. You know, water table of ground is going too low and is very difficult to manage the requirement of water. So, based on this major objective, we should manage water in our landscape. So that's why if we have limited water resource and we want to develop the landscape, then we have the option of gerryscape. Okay, so gerryscape is an attractive, sustainable landscape that conserve water. So I mean in gerryscape, many cactus they have attractive shape as well as these plants bears very beautiful flowers. Okay, as well as these plants bears the thorns, spines on the plant. So we can say these plants solve many purposes in landscape. For example, as you know, all cacti are xerophytic in nature. So I mean they can survive just on the moisture. Okay. So we can say water requirement is very low. Or these plants, if we have the water scarcity, these plants will flourish very well. And thorns can protect itself from the external damage by the animals. Okay, so we can say gerryscape is very good option for water conservation. How does gerryscaping differ from conventional landscape? So this one is also potential question. I mean the examiner can ask the question differentiate between landscaping as well as gerryscaping. Okay, so we can say in gerryscape and conventional landscape, what are the major differences? So it is a method of landscaping, not a style of landscaping. We can say jaryscaping is a type of landscape. Okay. So if we will talk regarding the different types of landscaping, so jaryscaping is a part of landscape, or we can say the landscaping. Okay. So we can say regarding the style of landscaping, in a last lecture we have discussed the different styles of gardening: formal style, informal style, mixed style. Okay. So in this, no need of any specific style of landscaping. Okay. So we can say, as per your choice, you can plant the cacti and succulents in your jaryscaping. Second one, it groups plants with similar moisture requirement together in watering zones. So this sentence is self-explanatory. So I mean the in this meaning of this sentence is, in jaryscaping only we can plant same group of plants. Same group means their water requirement, or we can say the moisture requirement, is almost similar. Okay. But in case we can say the in conventional landscaping, we can plant the old type plants in a garden. I mean, in one part we can plant, we can say the jaryscape plants, xerophytic plants. Okay. Or in majority of garden we can plant the mesophytic plants. Okay. Or also in one part of the general landscaping or your garden, you can create the pond, lake, etc., and you can grow hydrophytic plants. They are fully submerged of water. Okay. So this is a well understood difference between jaryscaping and conventional landscaping. It promotes a greater the use of native plants, thereby increasing the water savings. So I mean the in jaryscaping, we should promote the greater use of native plants. Native means, I mean the local plants. So I mean the local plants can well flourish. But in conventional gardening or some conventional landscaping, we can collect the any type plants from any source, and you can incorporate in your landscape. Okay? Because what is their climatic requirement, what is their water requirement, what is their nutrient requirement, you can create in your conventional landscape. But in case of the jaryscaping, our main focus is water conservation. So only plants we can grow, their water requirement or moisture requirement is very low. Okay. So in jaryscaping, we should give emphasis on use of native plants, thereby increasing the water savings. So obviously, no doubt, if you want to implement the water budgeting in jaryscaping, then we should go for cacti and succulents, and we can increase the water savings. Next one, it restricts higher water use plants to areas where they will serve a purpose. So I mean the In conventional landscape or conventional landscaping, we can grow any type plants. Either they have higher water use efficiency or low water use efficiency. But in xeriscaping, this is the limited option. We should use only restricts water use plants. So only if those plants they have minimum water use, minimum moisture use, those plants can solve our purpose in xeriscaping. How does xeriscaping differ from conventional landscaping? It could save 25 to 50% in outdoor water use, depending on your previous water use habits. So we can say quarter to half. So we can say the 25% to 50% water you can use in outdoors. So we can 25 to 50% water save in outdoor garden by xeriscaping or by using of cacti and succulents. The initial cost for xeriscape will probably be slightly higher due to cost of plant material. So in this line, so when you will prepare the, when you will purchase the cacti and succulents, so that time you can spend the more money on purchasing of those plants, or we can say you can invest more money on cost of planting material at the time of purchasing. But if you will talk up once you planted in your xeriscaping, after that maintenance cost is very low. Or in case of the conventional landscaping, when you will purchase the planting material from the any nurseries, so maybe you can purchase the plants at low cost, but after planting, maintenance costs will be high. Okay, so the saving in irrigations and maintenance makes it cost effective in a few years. Okay, so I mean the main focus in xeriscaping use of water. Okay, so obviously in first point already clear, in xeriscaping we can save 25 to 50% water on, so we can save the irrigations and maintenance costs. I mean these type plants uh, will grow slowly, as well as their training pruning requirement is very low. Hoeing hoeing practice is very low, and also minimum nutrient requirement. So no need of fertilizers. Okay. So xeriscaping is cost effective Okay, good morning. Today I am here to discuss about the landscape design process. So the landscape design process, many times we mentioned the term landscape in previous lectures. So what is landscape? Landscape came from two words, land plus scape. Land, a piece of a land or part. Escape came from the scene. So we can say by using these certain features, how we can beautify that particular piece of land. So we can see the beautification of surroundings. So that is the solely based on, or we can say solely dependent on the planning, or we can say the designing process. And it will depend on the your imagination power. So you imagine how much time it will take. And for example, if we are taking the 10 years for the complete development, then what type gardens would you like to see after 10 years? So that planning you should make today. So for that, in designing process, you have to prepare the preliminary design on paper with the help of pencil. So in this one, you can see the bubble diagram examples. So on the paper, you can see the bubble design. So in this one, you can see the zigzag manner. So that is the for maybe for the hedge or for avenue trees, etc. And this one is the for play area. This part is the for the turf development. This one is the outdoor turf development, and these are also for the other features. So these are the we can prepare the design on the paper, and also if necessary, then we can highlight by using the colors. So use of colors on bubble diagrams. So left hand side on paper, that is the outline outline that is prepared on the paper with the help of the pencil, and after that we can highlight in particular segment what would you like to develop. So we can do like that. And in right hand side, after designing this, we can by the use of colors we can highlight. For example, in this green, that green part is the for the turf, or we can say the for the lawn development. And similarly for others, I mean the in play area, what we can do, so we can highlight these things. So final design, form composition. Form composition, the organization, placement, or relationship of the basic shapes so as to produce a naturally and logically connected images, and detailed plans for planting and construction. So, so, so sizes, locations, and quantity of plants and other materials. So I mean the design process, what is the length, what is the width, what is the shape, according to we have to prepare the outline of that design, and what features we want to develop so we can show on that. So in how much area we want to develop the lawn, in how much area we want to create the hedges, how many avenue trees, and which part we want to create the gardens, pro gardens, and also the if we have any provision of the running waters, and what is the location of that. So based on that, we can calculate the quantity of plants as well as the how much material is required. So based on that, we can prepare the budget. So we can say the total length is too more length and width. So we have to during the design process, we have to draw to scale. So I mean we have to take the scale. I mean the 1 centimeter is equal to how much meters or how much kilometers, etc. That is. So in case of this design final plan examples you can see. So in this picture is clear cut. This area is the for buildings, or maybe some part is the for parking, and these are indicating for the vegetations. So in this vegetation we are using the trees, or we are using the any special kind of avenue trees or shrubs, bushes, etc. And in which area we want to create the lawns, and also if we want to create we want to put some container gardeners, pot plants, trays, etc. So all features we can incorporate in this. So this one is the final plan example. Outdoor room concept. So in this outdoor room concept, outdoor wall. So that may be the boundary wall of that garden. Outdoor floor maybe in parking area is pucca floor, or in remaining part we can use the lawns or turf, or outdoor ceilings. So we can use the tiles, etc. Outdoor wall defines the limits or size of the outdoor room, defines the limits or size of the outdoor rooms, slow or prevent movement in a certain directions, should not be placed in the middle of areas but side instead. So this one also, the main thing in this, not placed in the middle of the area. So that should be considered in the side areas instead of the middle. Materials include, so in materials, both kinds, living or non-living materials. So in case of the living materials like shrubs, small trees, ground covers, flowers, fencing, or in hardscape is the masonries, fountain, lanterns, statues, carved stones, aging material, or many others. Or outdoor floors provides the surface in outdoor. So in the outdoor floor, materials are grasses for lawn development or for turf development. Ground covers for mass effect. So we can use the ground covers that will fulfill and will show the foliage as well as the flowers in that. Sand, gravels, water, bricks, concrete, patios, blocks, tiles, and many more. So outdoor ceilings define the upper limits of the outdoor rooms, may offer physical protection, awning, or aluminum coverings. Shade in summer, drop leaves, warm house in winter. So warm house in winter, dropping of leaves, especially for deciduous plants, etc. And shade is also important criteria to consider, especially for summer season. Foundation plantings focalize the main entrance with noticeable plants. So I mean the at the main entrance we should focal particular place, and we should grow the special kind of plants that should be noticeable. Okay. Complement architectural style. So this one also important that it attract the tourists or visitors. Okay. Avoid competing elements. So I mean in the garden development, we are incorporating the different features for beautification of that garden. So during the design process, we should avoid So different features never compete with each other. So I mean the garden elements never compete with each other. Select plants. So easily be maintained to proper scale with the house. So what kind of plants we are planning to plant in our garden. So we should select those plants based on the easily be maintained to proper scale with the house. Height not to exceed two-thirds the wall at house corners. So I mean the height of the plants never should be more than two-thirds of the height of the walls in corners. Otherwise, they will hide the look or beauty of that corner. So use taller plants on corners. Medium size shrubs for one-story homes, large shrubs for two-story or taller plants. So this is I mean the in garden, for example, we have the building just for our residence or maybe for office purpose. So for that, if that building is single story, then we have to select accordingly different kind of plants. Or if that building is two-story or multi-story, then we can use the tall type plants. In case of the single story, if we are growing the large plants, that will hide the view of that home. So medium sized shrubs are used for one-story homes, and large trees and large shrubs we can use for taller buildings. Use dwarf shrubs or ground covers under windows for foot or less above ground levels. So I mean the in case of the hanging type uh, ground covers or shrubs, it's, or if you are using the shrubs that should be below 4 feet heights, because normally windows we install at 4 meter heights. So that should never block the view as well as the ventilation, because if you are growing the tall shrubs, tall trees near the windows, that will block the view of outside, as well as also uh, create the problem in light as well as the air. So that will affect the ventilation in that. Balance the planting with equal foliage moss. Repeat some of the same plants on each end. So it should be better if we are repeating the same plants on each end. So that will create the nice look and it will add the beauty of garden. Use variety in plants. So in that the texture like coarse texture, medium and fine textures, and colors red, green, blue, yellow, orange, etc. And form round, peculiar, or we can say the drooping, all these things. Mass plants, group planting. Mature size allowed to touch adjacent plants. So foundation mistakes, overgrown effect, overgrown effect. So plant too large for roof lines or windows, dwarfs home and requires high maintenance to control sizes. So we should avoid the overgrown effect. Crowded effect, large mass of confusion, plants too close at time of planting, gives instant fullness, but plants lose their identity over a time. So during the young stage, maybe it is low, but after the full growth at mature stage, that can lose their identity. So clipped effect, plants get a regular haircut maintained with very smooth edges. Plants lose unique growth habit, etc. That is the clipped effect. And balance effect. Too many plants or larger plants occur on one side or at the end of the planting. Appear tilted and is out of balance. So unbalanced effect instead of the beauty that can distract uh, the look of the gardens. Toy solidary effect. Landscape use one species of landscape plants, often round, which are spaced equally with noticeable gaps between plants. Monotonous, boring, and lack creativity. Monotonous, I mean, in the whole garden, we are seeing the only one that can create the boring and also the lack of creativity. So we should increase the creativity in gardens even than the small area. I mean, if we are creating the design process for a small area, so never lack of creativity in that. Haze effect, plants are trimmed to continuous box shape, lack variety, and gives foundation to relief from horizontal lines. Hedges are used as borders or living fence. So hedges are boundaries used as a border or living fence. Designing a flower garden. So steps in garden designing. Choose a configuration, explosion, sine curve, C curve, E curve. Place skeletal flowers on the ground in a triangular shape with three unequal sides along the curved lines. So this is also important. Draw line in soil with shovel or use a hose for the lines. So I'm in the design process we are putting on that. Hello, Om Shanti. हाँ हाँ आ रहे हैं दादाजी आ रहे हैं आ जाते हैं 1 घंटे में पहले आओ ठीक है जी Dominance main design principle shown by plant form, texture, color, or position. Qualify a plant as a skeletal, strong, tall, vertical, broad and dramatic, coarse texture, vivid bright blossoms or leaves for dominant colors. 10 to 20% of flowers used in design. Tendon. Positioned after the skeleton, plants have been placed chosen to connect the blend the skeletal flowers, helping to hold together the form of the skeleton. Complement skeleton flowers according to principle you chose. Form might be shorter or less dominant. Texture might be shorter or smaller. Color might contrast or complement. Tendon maintains the configuration line. Triangles interlock with the skeleton plant. Triangles along with the configuration lines. So 10 to 20% of flowers in the design. Flash, more subordinate flowers is scattered in and among the other flowers to complete fill out the design. Place in clusters, group together to form clusters, create a shifting mosaic with the groupings of plants, and we can see the 60 to 80% of the number of plants we can incorporate in the design. Sparkle final touch. I mean in the design process, prepared design, we have to give the final touch. Few special or highly contrasting flowers. So contrasting flowers can create the beauty in that garden. Odd number groups of 3, 5 or 7 placed randomly. And here in this one, the configuration that don't work, A, B, C. So this trend designs we can create. Explosions, sine curve, C curve, or E curve. So these type of structures we can create during the design process. Choosing plants, massing group, alike plants together, placed close enough to look like a mass without overcrowding variety, makes design interesting, vary time of bloom or leaf color, and mature height, spring blooming, fall color texture. Most often associated with leaf size, don't use all coarse or fine textured plants. Repetition. So in repetition, I mean the any particular element we can repeat at definite pattern at particular interval. So repeat same plants throughout the design. So I mean the if any plant is planting at 10-meter distance, then at every 10-meter distance we have to repeat simultaneously. Same plant used on one side should be repeated on the other. So I mean the symmetrical designs, geometric pattern. If we are planting the one plant, so same plant we have to repeat on other side too. Symmetrical all manner numbers. So either haze, topiaries, or any other that should be in symmetrical pattern we have to repeat. Asymmetrical, not necessary to use same number of plants because in asymmetrical pattern that is the natural look. So planting plan examples. So we can prepare the design, landscape design similar like this, and in another side we have to prepare the list of the plants, and on the main design we can put the numberings. So for example, on number 1, which plant you want to plant, so on the list you can mention that. And hardscape and tree planting legends. So in legends, like top corner you can see the willow trees, pine trees, oak trees, ash trees, flower beds, and wheat dogs, concrete, gravels, pastlers, grasses, railings, boundary walls, fencing, so gate, etc. So similar like these legends we can use in the designing process. And low maintenance landscape design planning. Even the perfectly designed and installed landscape will fail if maintenance fail. So we can say the design process is not sufficient, but maintenance is also important. So I mean you develop your garden based on the design process, but in case of the poor maintenance, that design can fail. So many maintenance problems are designed into the landscape. Complex designs usually require more maintenance. So it will depend if we are creating the complex designs during the design process, it will require the very serious issue of maintenance and require the regular maintenance. Designs keep outlines of grass, decks, sidewalks simple. So use curing lines in the border, more natural. Keep lawn out of small wedges and acute angles. Avoid acute angles, obtuse. So if it can be mowed with the riding lawnmower without a lot of trimming. Landscape the borders of property, especially the rear gardens. trees and shrubs, avoid improper plant selection, spacing and installation. On plantings, less edging and trimming if not planted in grass. Next to building, placement, genetically small, say slow rate of growth. हिमांग कौन है अभी बुलाए बोल तेरी मम्मी सिलेक्शन little pruning pest resistance avoid messy fruit drop अभी बुलाए keep plant materials separate from grass leave open areas of lawn learn to use weed barrier fabrics mulches ground covers and chemicals to reduce weeds. Only plant grass where it is actually needed. Use aging materials that are impregnable, bender, board metal, or concrete aging, distinct mowing edge, clean lawn boundaries. Or in case of the flowers, use annuals sparingly. So seasonal plants, annuals like winter annuals, summer season annuals, rainy season annuals. These plants we can incorporate in the designs and in the flowering beds, carpet beds, we can beautify the garden. So these annual plants we can plant every year, labor and money intensive. So I mean the annual flowers need the labor and money intensive. Rely more heavily on perennial flowers, ground covers, flowering shrubs and vines. And this was the presentation of this morning on landscape design process. Good morning to all of you. Today I am going to discuss the use of color schemes in garden designing, or we can say use of the color schemes in landscaping or landscape designing. So we can say colors plays very important role. Colors plays the vital role in garden designing, because in garden designing aesthetic value is the prime objective to develop the gardens, or in landscaping until the that area not appealing the attraction of the visitors, then our objective is never fulfilled. So we can say in the garden, we planting the ornamental plants that blooms beautiful flowers, various colors flowers, red, pink color, yellow color, orange color, mauve colors, purplish colors, white, creamy white color, bicolors, and even the some multicolors. And also these not only beautiful flowers but ornamental plants are also have the beautiful foliage. Here I would like to give you examples of. If you have seen crotons, if you have seen acalyphas, also if you know variegated ficus, so various kinds, and even the if you know the alternanthera, irisine. So these plants have the colorful foliage. So in ornamental plants, plants have beautiful flowers, beautiful foliage, and also those plants they have beautiful foliage as well as the beautiful flowers. Also the plants have beautiful canopy, architectural stem or tree trunk, or also the some plants bears the very attractive colorful berries or fruits. So they add the beauty of